you talk about honors, you talk about legends of the sport. None bigger than our next guest. How about this? Back to back, going from George St. Pierre to the one and only Mirko Cro Cop, who joins us right now via the phone. Mirko, are you there?
I'm here.
Thank you very much for the time. I apologize for the delay. We got a little bit backed up, but again, thank you for your patience and the time. So a lot of people...
No, it was very interesting. I was listening for the last 5 minutes, your discussion with George St. Pierre. It was very interesting thing that he was saying,
Do you agree with him?
About pride and about being hungry and the different ways of being. What does it mean? Are you hungry or not? There are so many different ways to be hungry. And very interesting. He gave some very interesting answers.
So I'm wondering, because here you are now retired. Do you sort of agree with him that that hunger, maybe not the physical hunger, but the hunger to compete, to go out there, to put your life and career on the line, that's no longer there for you anymore. You lost that.
Definitely, no. Definitely, I agree with him. So many different ways of being hungry. Hungry. Some people are motivated, especially in the beginning. They have no money. They want to make a career. They want to make name. They want to make money. But that's very good motive. That's very good. But sometimes you are hungry and you don't want to lose your pride. And I think it's a stronger motive than just being hungry, physically.
So let's talk about your situation.
I understand what
Sure.
George St. Pierre was talking about. I can understand it.
So around 3 weeks ago, you came out and surprised, it's 3 weeks tomorrow. You came out and you wrote a post on your website saying that you were out of your fight against Anthony Hamilton and that you were walking away from the sport. The injuries had caught up. You just can't do it anymore. And then after that, USADA comes out and says that you failed your drug test. And then you come out and have to respond to that and say that you told them that you had to, use certain substances because you had a shoulder injury. And then they come out and suspend you for 2 years. How much does it bother you that it all went down this way, that if this truly is the end of Mirko Cro Cop's legendary career, it happens like this?
Listen, that's true. I had a serious injury of my shoulder. But it's not only thing. And I have a broken muscle in a shoulder and tendon. There was a big question: is tendon in the shoulder is going to be broken or not? And I just couldn't take a risk, and it was too painful for me. And I wasn't able to fight. And after Gonzaga fight, I also had an injury, and of course I didn't talk about it. That's part of the job, I had during Gonzaga preparations, I injured my knee again, and I had already 4 surgeries on my right knee, which caused me a lot of trouble, especially on the training, because when I'm kicking, I'm kicking with my left. I'm kicking with both legs on the training, actually, but in the fight, 90% of the kicks I throw with the left one. And when you kick with the left one, you have to rotate your body on the right one, and it was a huge pressure for my knee, because it would be much easier if I injured my left leg, my left knee.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm kicking with that leg, and I feel no pressure, no problem, but since my right one was injured, and every time after every training, my knee gets swollen, and I had to put ice. And somewhere during preparation, I don't know, I can't tell the moment, I felt that my knee was swollen all the time, and after I didn't want to check it before the fight, and after the fight I went it, and a piece of is it? I don't know how to say it in English. Piece of not meniscus, but piece of something was floating in the knee, and they had to. It wasn't actually real surgery, And I went in the morning to the hospital, and they put me to sleep. They cut the knee, and they took it out, and they stitched it. I wake up, and same evening I went home, But so many small injuries, and I also injured my tendon on leg, and that's why I wasn't able to take the fight during summer, because UFC offered me a fight July or August, and I said I can take it earliest. I can take it beginning of December, or of October, and it happened that they scheduled me to fight at the end of November, and I make a there was a too long break between fights. I had to wait eight months, and it's such a long period for a fighter in my age, and I was training, right after Gonzaga fight. I took 1 week off. I wait for the surgery, but I was riding a bicycle. 2 weeks later, I was starting with the jogging, with the pull-ups, with so many different things. But I didn't do wrestling, And when I start with the preparation for this fight, and I start, of course, with 2 trainings a day, and after 7 or 10 days, my shoulder was simple. It was overtrained, overtrained, and muscle was broken, and it was a question: is MR shows that my tendon was very close to be broken, and of course, in the meantime, I didn't have time. I didn't have time to make some to make calls before, because if I announce that that on a doctor's recommendation, I will take some growth hormone to try to heal, it would be okay, But it takes time, and I didn't have that luxury time, and they came to test me, and I said, I took it. Hey, you took it, but you didn't ask for permission, But at the end of the day, I'm full of injury, and definitely I wouldn't be able to fight. And to wait another 5-6 months to the next fight, when you are 41, I'm just not able to make such a long break between 2 fights,
So
I had to wait 8 months already, and
right.
4, 5, 6 months, more than a year, to make a break between 2 fights. I will injure myself again. I cannot force myself to train like crazy to maintain the level of my body shape, not to be injured when the real preparation starts. And at the end of the day, I had 79 professional fights, K1, Pride, and UFC, and I think it's enough. I think it's enough. I turned 41 and 2 months ago, and I entered in 42, and I'm really full of such injuries, and like a knee, like those tendons, I had problem with discus hernia 2 years ago, and training doesn't make me happy anymore, Training doesn't make me happy anymore, and I think that's the best solution. At the end of the day, every man comes to his end, and I think that's the smartest decision for me. I just don't want to go on the training. I'm happy, and I don't want to do a special warming for the shoulder, for the knees, and to put some hot creams to warm it up to avoid another injuries. And I think I had enough. I had a long and successful career, and but it got to stop one day. Of course, it is still shock for me, and but that's life. That's life, and I think definitely that is the best decision for me.
So to be clear, even if they didn't come to test you, the injuries, all that stuff, you wouldn't have been able to fight in Seoul, right? It had nothing to do with the test.
Yeah, I would definitely cancel that fight, because last time I fought seriously. I fought with injuries so many times, but last time I fought seriously injured, it was against Roy Nelson, I fought with Pat Berry was on the preparation with me, and we had some sparring, and I throw a hook, and I felt a pain in my biceps, and okay, let's keep going. I throw another one, and I felt terrible pain, and my biceps was broken, and tendon was also broken, and it was separated from the bone, and It is serious injury, serious. But it happened. It happened 7 days. It was last round of the last sparring during preparation. Unbelievable. What a jinx.
Right.
And I decided to fight anyway. Even doctor said that I won't be able to control my arm, etc., etc. But I decided to fight because same situation happened, and I was waiting for 6-7 months. I was preparing myself 7 months for that fight, since my last one, and I just didn't want to lose that fight and to wait another 5-6 months because I was aware that I had to go for the surgery, and that I will be out for next at least 5-6 months, and but I took it. I took my chances. It was a smart decision, and I said to myself, never again. I won't fight if I'm not 100% ready. Never again. And now again, and it will take me a few months to heal everything, that I can start with easy training. But it's such a long period for me, and when I compare it with 2004 in Pride, I had 8 fights. Fighting keeps me sharp.
Right.
Fighting keeps me sharp. That's I finish the fight. I take one if I'm not injured, but most likely I wasn't injured during the fight, and 1 week rest, 1 week easy trainings, and then I start 6 weeks for the preparation. It's maximum 2 months. Maximum 2 months is 2 months between 2 fights is a perfect for me. In 2004, I had exactly 8 fights, and I was out. I was in a good shape, and it was keeping me out of injuries, because if you make such a long, at least my body function like that. I don't know. Maybe some fighters are okay with that, but I don't like it, to make such a long break between 2 fights, I just like to take 1 week off. Easy 1 week means easy training, just some stretching and jogging, and then 1 week a little bit harder, and then start with the preparation, six weeks of preparations, and that's it. That's the best. That's how my function. That's how my body functions the best. And but of course, UFC is different. Too many fighters on the roster, and they're not able to offer that many fights. Even I got to say, they offered me to fight July or August. I talked with them, but I couldn't take the fight because of the injury of the injury I had. Knee surgery, but it was okay. Knee was okay, but the tendon in the leg was really painful. Because during the fight with Gonzaga, I think you saw it. Gonzaga tried to do submission, some leg lock or whatever, and he caught it good. But of course, I escaped. I felt nothing then. But next morning when I wake up, I wasn't able to walk normally. Nothing was broken, but I guess tendon was seriously stretched, and it was very painful. Very painful. Believe it or not, I still feel it.
Wow.
Not that much, but I still feel I still feel pain during training. Especially if I'm the bottom one. And if I have to close the guard, and if my opponent or sparring partner tries to open the guard, it is so painful for me still. So I think and when business doesn't make you happy, and if trainings are not a joy anymore, if it is too much pain involved, I think this is the best solution for me. Believe me, it was hard decision, but I think best for me.
Considering how proud you are as a person and as an athlete, does it bother you that it ended this way? That all this stuff happened at the end and you couldn't go out on your own terms? Does that upset you?
No, listen. That's life, This is a violent sport, and in the most of the cases, the end is violent, You leave the sport either from injury, some serious injury, or you lost 3 or 4 fights in a row, and your employer doesn't want to give you any more fights.
Right.
That's sad true. That's sad true about the sport. That's true. Is it injury or or you will lose 3 or 4 fights and you will get fired, and but that's the law. That's the law in our sport, and that's how it works. Of course, it would be the best if I could finish all 3 fights in the contract, with 3 victories, and then after the last fight in the cage, okay, guys, listen, this was my last fight. I will fight never again, but it's not that it's not it doesn't work that way, Doesn't actually I don't know who say goodbye that way. Most of the people get injured or they lost the fight, and they are forced to retire. And I was lucky. I'm leaving with a big victory, and since I left UFC, and I had 13 fights, and I was very successful. I won K1 in the meantime, and I returned in UFC. I had a rematch with Gonzaga, which was a very important fight for me, and I went in Japan, and I beat 2 times their Japanese champion, and I fought for a title against Satoshi Ishii. I beat him twice with TKO, and what else I can ask, What else I can ask?
So, okay, your career is a legendary one. There's no doubt about it, and the way we talk about you, and when you look back, is there anything that you didn't do? Is there anything that you said, if I could have done that one thing, fought that one guy? Is there anything? Because I feel like you kind of did it all. You just sort of outlined it. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Oh no, not really.
No regrets.
Not really. No regret. No. What's the use? What's the use of regretting? I'm not that type of a person that will regret anything. What's the use of feeling sorry for something? That you cannot change. I'm practical person, and no regrets. Of course, I would like to change every loss I had.
Yeah.
I would like to change it into the victory, of course. But listen, that's life. This is violent sport. I fought and I compete with the top fighters on the planet, and you can't win each fight. That's the law. That's the law in this sport, And younger fighters are coming, new talents, and it's impossible to stay untouched in this. But I'm proud of my career, and I have a really long career, and I'm proud of myself because at the end of the day, I'm in a certain way self-made fighter. I had never big camp, big coaches, and I came from kickboxing, not from some. It was very hard for me, to learn how to survive on the ground. It was very hard for me to learn how to do grappling, how to do so many things that I never met before. I was a kickboxer. I was competing in K1, but MMA is completely different thing. But I found strength, and I found energy, and I was very patient, and I was learning a lot, from the top experts on that field. So many people from Brazil came to. I was paying instructions to the people. At the end of the day, I was training with Fabrizio he was staying in my apartment for 2 years. We were training together, and it was great time, And I have a lot of great memories, and I don't regret for anything,
You mentioned earlier that you're still kind of in shock over all of this. 3 weeks later, almost.
Not because of this. Because anytime when I was aware that my retirement will come soon.
Right.
Because due to so many injuries. Believe me, I'm not able to drive a car longer than 20 minutes. Wow. I have a terrible pain in the tendons, and nothing can change. I was searching for help in the best polyclinics in Europe, and some of them one of them is one of the best in the world, but it's too many damage, too many damage. And of course, all of them said when you decrease the level of your training, pain will gone, you know. And of course, I'm not able to do high kicks anymore. I will have to skip. I will keep training, you know, after New Year when I recover completely. You know, I don't want to get new injury. So far, this morning was my first training. I was doing just a bicycle, you know,
Wow.
and some stretching. You know, I'm not able to do anything with the upper part of my body because whatever I do, is it pull-ups, is it push-ups, is it bench press, whatever, it includes the shoulder. I just need to rest it and to heal it completely. But I will start training after New Year definitely, and I will do everything, you know. I will doing the same type of trainings, you know, but of course only once a day. And the worst thing for me is that I will have to stop doing high kicks.
So
High kicks, it stretches my tendons, and it creates a lot of pain to me, unfortunately.
what I'm wondering is, how are you dealing with the idea that you'll never fight again? Like, Mirko Cro Cop to me is this figure. It's like, did you cry? Was it tough?
I'm listen. That's why I'm telling you, I'm in shock.
Yeah.
I'm in shock, you know, and I still don't go to sleep before 3:00 in the morning because so many things going through my head, and it's not, of course, it's not about financial. It's not about financial, and thank God I'm secure, man. But that's my life, you know, and that's the only life I knew so far, you know. Trainings in the morning, training in the evening, and traveling all around the world to fight. That was my life last 20 years, you know. And when you stop it, and everybody got to stop once. Everybody, you know. That's how we are just a human, nothing more, you know. I'm not a robot or something, and it's a shock, you know. It's a shock. Even I was aware that I was fighting for 20 years. It's such a long career, so many fights, you know. At the end of the day, I had so many injuries, you know. I collected 9 surgeries. If I don't count this last one, I don't count it as a real surgery, you know. They just took it out of the knee, you know, that piece of something that was floating and creating a lot of problems to me, and or if you want to count it, then it's 10th surgery, you know, and it's a lot, you know. It's a lot, and especially, you know, problem with tendons, which can be solved only with less intensity of training, you know. If I'm going to keep training twice a day, if there will be involved a lot of high kicks because I have to train, that's my trademark, that's my specialty, and pain won't gone, you know. I don't want to train. I don't want to fight under pain, and so definitely this is the best decision for me.
So what do you think you're going to do now?
It will take time, you know. Maybe 1 year, maybe year and a half, I will recover completely, you know.
Right.
But I don't think, you know. People always say never, but you know, in age of 43, I don't think it's a realistic option that I will be back and fight. Especially, you know, young fighters are coming, and at the end of the day, you know, you have to think about your health. Even it sounds funny when MMA fighters talking about health, you know, but that's true, you know, that's true.
What do you think you're going to do for the rest of your life? What kind of jobs?
I would like. What do you think? Why I cannot sleep until 3:00 in the morning? That's one of the. I really don't know. I was planning. I didn't publish it yet, but I'm telling you now. These days I will publish that. I will, after New Year, when I recover and I take a rest. I will do some seminars in Croatia. Kickboxing or MMA clubs. They will make. If they call me, I will come there. Do a seminar for free in Croatia for free, and I don't know. The biggest problem for me will be how to kill time. You know, training in the morning, that's okay. And how to kill the rest of the day, I don't know. I still don't know. But I think I will figure something out.
Was it all worth it to you? You know, with the injuries and everything, do you still feel like the whole career was worth it? Would you do it all over again?
Of course. MMA and kickboxing, martial arts is something special, and MMA and kickboxing too is the most beautiful sport on the planet for me. Even it is dangerous, it is violent, but I just love it. I just love it, and I definitely I would go to the same way again if I could, if I had a chance. Of course, it won't happen. Then nobody can return the time, but you know what I mean.
By the way, did you happen to see Holm a couple weeks ago knock out Ronda Rousey with a head kick that,
Yeah,
kind of looked like vintage Cro Cop? What did you think of that?
Well, it was a great performance. To be honest, and I have never seen Holm fights before. I heard before the fight that she was a professional boxer.
Yeah.
And but I thought honestly, I thought it would be but I haven't seen the girl fighting, but I thought it would be just another easy fight for Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned to be a disaster for Ronda, and Holm did it really good, and she dominated. If it happened after 1 minute or 2 minutes in the first or second minute of the fight, people could say, hey, she was lucky, but she had complete domination, especially in the first round. They went on the ground, she survived, and my congratulations to Holm. It was really something special, and especially that high kick. She caught her very good, and she knocked Ronda out. That's the name of the business. That's how it works in our business. You're not concentrated 100%. You make small mistake and you pay it with the sleeping on the ground.
Just wanted to ask you.
That's true,
It is 100% true. A couple more things, and we'll let you go. And thank you so much for the time. This has been unbelievable for us to have you on the show. Before you got injured, before the news came out, you wrote, and I want to clear this up, that you were a little upset that you couldn't wear the checker box on your shorts because of the Reebok deal. Is that true? And how much did you try to get that to be allowed by the UFC?
That's true. I talked with UFC, but UFC was more than correct. I got to say, there was more than correct, and they just couldn't allow me to wear it. It was my trademark, and now when I look at so. When I look at and from the position that I had the checkers in every fight. Maybe some higher force didn't wanted me to fight without them.
Wow.
I'm not some religious lunatic or something. But maybe it just happened. It just happened like that. And I asked them if I could put Croatian flag, and. But they didn't allow it, But there was more than correct. They explained me if they allowed it to me, they will have to allow it to every other fight. I understand. This is business, They signed. UFC has a contract with Reebok, and that's something that I have to respect, And but I would feel definitely strange, I would feel definitely strange to fight without that, and it turned that I won't fight at all, And maybe that is some message for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say again, I'm not some lunatic or religious lunatic or something, but maybe this is the best way for me.
So like I said, you've had a legendary career. If there's ever an MMA Hall of Fame, your first ballot, you've given us so many great memories. When you think back on your career, is there a fight, a moment, a conversation, something that sticks out as your favorite? Is there one night that sticks out when you think back on your unbelievable Hall of Fame, legendary career? I keep saying that over and over. There's no other way to say it. Is there one moment that sticks out above the rest?
It's really hard to say. I like every fight. I was bleeding and I was sweating for every fight. I went to the bloody preparations for each of them, But of course, some fights will be bigger than others. Fight like my fight with Fedor, and which is considered as one of the best fights in a heavyweight history. And of course, my participation in Pride Grand Prix. In 2006, I won the championship, and I'm very proud on winning the K1 Grand Prix 2 years ago in Zagreb, and 3 fights in one night. It's very hard. It's very hard, and I was very happy, to that if my career had to end, that it ended up with a fight against Gonzaga, and it was good, and it was tough fight, and at the end of the day, I finished him with elbows, I never did it before, and it was a special night for me too.
Many to choose from, of course. Is there something you're going to miss? The crowd, the arenas, the training. What are you going to miss the most?
Most likely, I will be in the training. I will stay in the gym, and I will train, and I will train my son. My son is 13, and he's really talented. He's really talented, and I will invest my energy into him, and I will teach him how to fight. He's doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu now.
Oh wow!
I already started before, with the stand-up with him. He's also southpaw like me, and he can throw high kick like crazy. He's just 13 years old, and but he's big boy for his age. He's a big boy. He's almost 70 kilograms, and 175 centimeters tall. I don't know how you calculate it in inch, but for his age, he's enormously strong, and. Even to be honest, I wouldn't like him to went to the same way like I did. It's a bloody sport, and it's very hard for parents, especially for me. I know what does it mean, and I'm aware of everything that is part of the job, and how dangerous it can be. I wouldn't like to see my boy fighting, But if he finds himself into that, and if he decided he will fight, and of course I will support him, and I believe that he will have a great coach, and but once again, I hope he won't. I would like him to go to train with me, and to be a martial art expert, and but just for his health, just for him to be more confident, and etc. etc. But I wouldn't like him to start earning money like his father did, And but if he decides to do it, I will support him. Of course, I had my parents supported me, even it was very hard for them, and but I would like him to finish the college, and to do something different, than I did.
Well, Mirko, thank you so much. Thank you for this interview. I know you don't like to do a lot of interviews, so it means the world to me that you'd come on the show. Thank you for all the great fights, the great memories, a huge part of mixed martial arts history and kickboxing history. And I think for a lot of people my age, you're a major reason why we fell in love with this sport. So I can't thank you enough for all those memories, for sacrificing your body, and for just being an unbelievable fighter to watch. Some of those fights, I'll never forget them. So truly a heartfelt thank you from me and the rest of the MMA community. I hope this isn't the last time I get a chance to speak to you, but what an honor this has been. I really, truly, sincerely thank you for coming on the show, and I wish you all the best. I hope you get well soon, you get healthy soon, and you can, resume your life in a nice manner, and we can see, you training people and things of that nature. That's fine with me. Just knowing that you're happy is, I think, for a lot of fans, a very important thing. So again, thank you very much. Enjoy retirement, and hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. What else I can say? And thank you very much for this warm words you just said, and I have no words anymore. Thank you very much, Ariel.
Okay, thank you, Mirko. All the best to you. There he is, the one and only Mirko Cro Cop. stopping by from Croatia. There is only one Mirko. There will only be one Mirko. I remember back in the day, I mean, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be interviewing him under these circumstances, I mean, I'd say you're crazy. This guy was truly one of those figures that, in my opinion, was larger than life. I mean, this guy was the scariest mofo in the world. Those head kicks, his demeanor. You know, you look at that famous clip with Mauro Ranallo when they punked him. That was a scary man. You do not want to walk down an alley anywhere in the world and see Mirko Cro Cop. He was one of the most feared strikers in the history of the sport. If you have never seen those fights, it's great that we have Fight Pass now. You can probably watch all of them. The guy that came in the UFC wasn't quite the same, but gave us some amazing memories as well along the way. Remember the fight with Pat Barry, and of course, it ends this way on a very sour note. But let's not forget that the moment that really sort of changed everything for Mirko was the knockout against Gabriel Gonzaga. And he got that one back at the end. And that has to feel good. He got that one back in Poland not that long ago. Pretty amazing. All the best to him. What a great honor that was.